Hey, this is Mo Lunsford at Union Grove Lumber Studios.
And this is the Shed Geek. We want to welcome you to today's episode.
Thank you for listening to part 2 of a 2-part series here at the Shed Geek Podcast. If you missed part 1, just go back to last week and listen for more engaging conversation here at the Shed Geek Podcast.
But I'm going to run through a couple of these real quick and just give you've got your answers on there for anybody who wants to go back, but just a couple of thoughts, what you might see if you were to join like the Shed Sales Professionals page. Some of the things that we might talk about on there, but I did like this little list of 10, and number 1, this was the question I asked, and it's kind of in regard to how I'm wanting to do a column in my next column for Shed Business Journal, to kind of have these conversations with the people who are in it to talk about that. But I put in here number 1, not all dealers are created equal. Some sell as a primary means of income. Some sell because they have 5 acres and they like the idea proposed to them by a sales manager to make a little extra cash. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on that, Rami? Does that idea, given your experience, I'll be quiet and just get your thoughts.
No need to be quiet. This is your game. No, so either venue is good, either scenario is good. You just have to know what the expectation is on both sides. So if you have somebody that's retired and just looking to make a little bit of side income, there's your expectation. If you've got somebody who this is my bread and butter, and I'm sinking my teeth into this thing, and not okay, here's your expectation. Here is your maybe extra 1 or 2 demos. I mean, it's just, it depends on the scenario. Both are really good opportunities, but it's just, don't go in expecting somebody who's kind of retired and not really, into it all the way, to blow the socks off of anything. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't have lightning in a bottle and just, be mind blown, but it's people on the older side of this industry, who are on the older side in this industry. There's a lot of technology now, and there's some hurdles and whatnot. So it kind of adds a layer of complexity, because now you're, as the manufacturer, for example, are having to train your retailer how to use a computer, and it's just, and so it depends on what your expectation is. But as long as you set your expectations and lay it out, and they can accept or not accept. And same with the other side. Hey, this is, you're ambitious, you're hungry, you're eager, you're wanting to make these sales. This is what I need from you to get this extra little bit of commission, or get this extra little bit, this special discount. Some of the companies we work with, occasionally they'll have specific discounts that are catered directly to us. So you kind of push along that way a little bit. I've even discussed some having like an express lane. Like if you have $1 million dealer and you have a $1,000 dealer, let them have that 2 to 4 week turnaround time, instead of this guy that's selling a onesie twosie and it's little tops and little 8x10s or whatever. Maybe give them the 4 to 6 weeks, and so it depends on your approach and the expectation. But as long as it's made clear and as long as it's being reciprocated, then you're cruising.
Introducing Shed Hub, your ultimate shed marketplace. Are you in the shed business and looking to connect with more buyers? Look no farther than Shed Hub. Shed Hub is a game-changing, 2-sided marketplace that brings shed sellers and buyers together in one easy-to-use platform. Think of it as the Amazon of sheds. Shed Hub isn't just any ordinary marketplace. It's a powerhouse that ranks on the first page of Google's search results in 91% of U.S. cities. With over 1.2 million impressions on our website last month alone, Shed Hub is where you want to be to showcase your sheds to a wider audience. And here's the best part. For a limited time, you can join our exclusive Next 500 plan for just $39 per month. Simply head over to geek.shedhub.com to sign up and start attracting more shoppers to your shed listings. As the Shed Geek, I am here to endorse ShedHub and invite you to join me on this journey to boost your shed business. Whether you're struggling with website visibility or simply want more eyes on your product, ShedHub has got you covered. Don't miss out on this opportunity to supercharge your shed sales. Visit geek.shedhub.com today and make your mark in the shed industry with ShedHub.
Perfect. I appreciate your answer. Let's see. Number 2, it's tough for a consignment dealer who receives 10% commission to invest in an effective marketing plan, even if they're selling $1 million a year. And I'll kind of follow up with some thoughts there, and then let you run with it. You know, at 10%, $1 million a year, you've got $100,000 in gross revenue. Don't know what you want to consider a good, healthy income. Depends on maybe your financial situation. If you're retired, as you said, if you've got a family or whatever. But there's quite a bit of expenses that come out if you're having to cover your own lot rent. Maybe you're buying the building there. Maybe you're buying a property. But, you know, this is something that we run against in marketing, is people struggle. People struggle even at $1 million to be able to afford a comprehensive plan to be beneficial. Is that their responsibility, the manufacturers? The manufacturers already putting all this, as you said, all of these sheds out here, 50 times 50, and they got a ton of money into them. So it just, you know, the conversation stays in the air, and I'm curious your thoughts on, and others' thoughts on that.
Yeah. So for anything, 10% is kind of small now in comparison to what is out there. I mean, especially if you sell $1 million a year, like you said, your take home for your business is $100,000. Taxes are coming out of that, obviously. Rent is coming out of that. I mean, so go ahead and probably take $20,000 at least, probably for the year out off the top again. So you're at 80, and then you have your taxes. So you're probably in the 70 or the 60 range now. And you haven't paid light bill, you haven't paid water bill, you haven't paid internet. So that 10% needs to adjust. So what I would recommend is a couple of things. One is always try to negotiate to get a higher commission tier. Now, sometimes the doors close on that. And if it is, then either deal with it and find another venue, which we'll address in a second, or maybe they'll say yes. And if you can go even from 10% to 12%, for you, that's a 20% raise. If you just that 2%. And so that goes a long way. So if you can get them to 15%, well, now we're doing some business. So now, obviously, I'm just making up some percentages here. I don't, everybody has different scenarios, but 10% is kind of like an entry level. Let's see how this goes kind of percentage. I would be very hesitant to stay on that very long unless you're just kind of doing a onesie twosie kind of thing. Now, on the other side of things, this is going back to, again, the original conversation, which is that's also why you have supplemental products. You don't want just sheds. You need in the business, well, in the finance world, they call it diversifying your portfolio to where the shed economy might tank, but carport economy doesn't, for example. And so you still have something to pay all your bills and to pay your employees, to pay your self. So, and then you add another product. So I mean, there's a million different things: 4-wheelers, lawnmowers, whatever, golf carts, whatever, and you don't want that third thing to really cannibalize anything else. But you're setting yourself up to where, okay, I get $100,000 from sheds, I get another 50 or 60 or 100,000 some dollars in commissions from carports, and then I have, I don't know, 20,000 or 30,000 extra. $20,000 extra dollars from commissions on this supplemental something. And now you're less stressed about, where you're going to, get your next sale from, because you're not just solidifying the business side of things, but you're also setting yourself up to where your scope is larger. So now more people are attracted to your business for a variety of things. And then something I've run into really in my recent history is you'll have a customer come in and now they're not just buying one thing. We have this mentality where somebody's coming in and buying a shed, and well, they just spent literally all their money, and now they're, I'll see you in, either 3 months to go pick up your shed for repo, or we'll see you in 5 years, or whatever the term is, so you can get another thing. But in reality, there are customers who they've been saving, or they just make good money, or they get approved for, $20,000. And the first thing they're looking at is a $10,000 shed. Now you're getting a $5,000 carport with the same color scheme that goes in their backyard. And so now you made $15,000 in sales instead of 10. So it's 50% increase.
Service after the sale, man. Service after the sale brings back so many people. It's so important. And I just don't even know if we really, there's probably some that have focused on it. No, great answer. Appreciate the thoughts there. Number 3, shed companies already invest. We talked about this, right? They already invest thousands of dollars into a shed lot. How can they possibly be responsible for also marketing the products? That's the lot owner's job. Again, not saying I agree with these things. I'm just stating things I've heard said before. Yeah. What's your thoughts on this?
So any relationship needs to be symbiotic, meaning we need to be reliant upon each other. Now, again, we're talking earlier about setting the expectation. If the expectation is set in the initial stages where, no, this is, we're giving you at this price, you sell it for this price, this other price, and then you handle your own marketing. Okay, sure. But if it's something where, okay, we just got thrown this major economic curveball, let's take this to the drawing board a little bit and really see what we can figure out. I'll tell you, a major hurdle that really frustrates me is it has taken me all 14 years just about to get quality photos from manufacturers on stuff so I can use for like carport sales and things like that. It's out there, but it's always something like the installer took it and it's at a jagged angle or whatever. And it's just, it's free, just have a picture once the project's done and everything's cleaned up. Take a picture or two. That way we're not having to travel all around the East Coast to every customer. So getting that is a free thing that manufacturers can provide and doesn't cost them a dime. And it's just, they're not doing that, or at least a lot of them are not. So it would be nice to kind of have something like that, but especially when you're thrown, from circling back to what we were talking about a second ago, this big economic curveball where no one knows what to expect. COVID reassembled our cultural DNA and also our economic DNA. So everyone's still trying to rebound from all of that. There is no reason why a dealer shouldn't be unwilling to put forth any effort towards their marketing, but there should also be zero reasons why a manufacturer cannot reciprocate their efforts. Especially in today's climate. Now, again, if this is how you want to do it, then fine. But I'm here to make money. At the end of the day, as long as you're making money, as long as I'm making money, that's what matters. And so, I guess my short answer to that would be, never be content with where you are. And it's like, if we can do this, then let's do it. And if we can make some money, I don't care how we do it, as long as it's legal, at least, then do it.
I've been a big fan of the co-op programs that I've seen sometimes throughout the industry. That really goes a long way, especially for a dealer coming in to kind of feel like they have the support from the company who's willing to engage or able to engage in something like that. It's a struggle for the business owner, the manufacturer, and the dealer a lot of times to to make it. We're all trying to make
Yep.
it, right? And
Yep.
Are you ready to elevate your shed business to new heights? Your pathway to success just got a whole lot smoother with ShedSuite's innovative marketing platform. At ShedSuite, we like to think we understand the shed industry at least a little bit. And over the last 7 years, we've been building awesome software for shed businesses. We focus first on building easy-to-use software to help you create and track orders, like the point of sale and after-the-sale order fulfillment. And now we're excited to announce our full-feature CRM. All things pre-sale, like prospecting and follow-up, all to empower your shed company to market better and sell more efficiently. Our platform empowers you with a marketing toolkit designed to amplify your online presence, engage your audience, and drive sales like never before. Enjoy the ease of conversion tracking, email marketing, centralized lead communication, and so much more. Oh, and guess what? It even comes with an iPhone and an Android app. With ShedSuite's marketing platform, crafting and deploying effective marketing campaigns is a breeze. The advanced reporting functionality allows your team to analyze real-time conversion data so you can make informed decisions and watch your business flourish. There's no better time than now to join the community of shed business owners who are scaling up with ShedSuite. It's time to turn your marketing efforts into real trackable results. Visit shedsuite.com/marketing to get pricing, explore the features, and book a demo. ShedSuite is committed to building top quality software to empower your shed business to thrive.
so number 4, I don't like forcing my dealer network to work leads. Many of them don't want to. And even if the lead is good, they think it's a bad customer if they don't pick up the phone when they're ready to call them and buy right away.
If you have a salesperson that will not call a customer, you do not have a salesperson.
Big statement, powerful statement.
It's just you. Part of sales. Well, I said it in one of the questions. Like, sales is more than just sales. You're an educator, and you're guiding your customer to a solution that either they've never thought of before or have been dreaming about, and you're making it reality. So you're leading them here. So there needs to be a paradigm shift with that. Now, I am not talking about cold calling. I have a moral line that I won't cross, and one of those is, well, a set of moral lines. I have a lot. I have a lot of moral lines, but that I'm not going to cross with. I'm not going to cold call people. They didn't give me their information. They didn't want to, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when they express interest. They voluntarily gave us information about a product. You have zero reason not to call them. You have zero reason not to try to help them get what they are begging someone to give them. So I've always been frustrated with the sales mindset of that. I don't want to say frustrated, but it's always almost discouraging when a salesperson who's good is too timid to move. There's got to be action involved, and there's got to be that momentum, and the customer will gravitate towards that as well. Now, obviously, you don't abuse it. Like I used to work for in my year gap that I told you about, where I took a little bit of a break, I went and sold used cars. I did not make it a year. I made it 11 months. And they would barrage my customers with phone calls. I mean, just an absolute barrage. And then on top of that, they would want me to call them as well. So one day I took a step back and I went, they had a little trackers for everything. And I took the number of phone calls it took for me to close a customer versus the ones that never answered at all. And my average phone call per customer before they purchased in this scenario was 2. And they were wanting me to call them 40. It's just like, so we're not talking about abusing your customers. We're talking about engaging them and drawing them in and then giving them something that they already need. And there's a big difference.
There was a time I was going to sell cars, Rami, and I was sort of sharing my mentality with the the person who would be doing the hiring. I don't know what his title was, but I kind of told him, about how I'm on this new journey, and I had found God and was moving forward in my life and my faith and trying to operate out of that and find maybe my purpose in life. And I didn't think maybe selling cars was it, but I needed a place to land, earn money, get solid. And so I was just kind of sharing a little bit of my faith story and things like that.
Mhm.
And the guy just point blank told me, he said, "You don't want to work here because it's going to be a conflict with your morals. I can tell."
Yeah.
It was just
Well,
like,
and to that,
we
I
do
would
what we
say, well,
can
if
to
it
get the
is, I won't.
sale. That's what he offered me the job. He said, "You can work
Yeah.
here if you want. I just don't think
Yeah.
you're going to like it." And I was like, "I think you're right. I think if you're that honest with me," he's like, "We do whatever it takes to get the sale. It doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. And your morals are going to get in the way of that. I can
Yeah.
tell." And I was just like, wow.
People will disagree with this, and I'm fine with that. I am very confident in this. I will lose a sale before I lie to a customer. Like, I just will. Again, I will say this. I like my sleep at night. I don't need much, but the little that I do sleep, I like it. I don't like stressing. I don't like being distracted. So I will not lie to a customer, and I will lose the sale and have lost sales before I have to mislead them. And I think when a customer can sense that, they gravitate towards that. And there's some that won't, and there's some that don't sense it, and that's okay. It's, for me, it's worth it, and I hold to that.
Let's take a look at the ownership side a little bit here now on question number 5, or statement number 5. I'm the owner of these buildings. I produce them. I put them out there on these lots. And if the dealer doesn't work the lead, then we will do it in-house ourselves. They can either get with the program or they can move on. What's your thoughts on that, Rami?
100%. Like, it goes back to earlier. If I'm a manufacturer providing leads to someone, and they're like, so I'm putting forth effort, I am doing my part and actually doing you a favor, and you're not wanting, absolutely, I would 100% support selling that lead. I mean, they're going to buy from somewhere, and it's going to be from my company. Whether you do it for my company or we do it for my company is up to the salesperson. But if as a manufacturer or even as a retailer, like a corporate office for retailer, if you're disseminating these leads to your sales team and they're not doing their job, then someone is going to get this sale. I have no issues with that at all.
Is there an obligation for the manufacturer to share some or all of that commission to that dealer who has a protected radius? Or is that lead and the full commission, does that belong to the company now? If the company has already attempted to get the dealer to work the lead, they've bought the lead, they've spent the money to get it, here you go. What do they get?
Zero obligation. Now, on the flip side of that coin is, if this is a good sales person or sales team, and just, I've even seen this, like, I have a manufacturer that does this for us. If they sell something, like they had a customer that just randomly called their manufacturing facility and made that sale, if they in turn turn around and find out that we had initiated contact with this customer or in any form or fashion, as within reason, obviously, then they'll issue us full commission. So, that's the other side of things. But if you have the alternative would be just firing them, honestly. If this is part of their core job. So if they're not doing it, then there's a problem and there needs to be a conversation. But as an alternative, and really a courteous alternative, is instead of and I know it's a little bit abrasive, but instead of like terminating their employment, you're just keeping the sale. And I think it's a fair trade. Now, it's not always black and white like that, and I fully understand. But at the end of the day, you have a job. If you're not doing it, then someone else needs to. So that's my abrasive but accurate approach to that.
It's kind of a similar, like the answer that you gave, it kind of answers number 6. As a dealer, I believe I should receive commission even if the building's sold in my radius, whether I work the lead or not. If a company sells it, I still receive commission. So you kind of answered that one.
Here at Identigrow, we have been providing custom nameplates for the shed and furniture industry for over 20 years. We are so pleased to know that shed manufacturers see the value in expressing their shed brand to potential customers using an Identigrow nameplate. When you add an attractive decal to your product, you will more than pay for the cost with increased sales. Clients will not only be able to identify the shed brand, but it will help to brand and advertise to potential customers who can easily see the nameplate, and in many cases, find a phone number or website to shop for themselves. At Identigrow, we are happy to continue to serve and invite you to visit our website at identigrow.com or give us a call at 540-283-9193. You can even fax us at 540-283-9194 or visit our website by clicking on the Shed Geek newsletter and then simply fill out some basic information for a free catalog or free samples. Thank you, Shed Industry, for allowing us to serve you in identifying your sheds. Identigrow. Identify your products. Grow your business.
We're good.
Number 7, I'm good with people. I work a lead when they come into the lot. I'm good with people. When people come to my lot, I work that lead. I'm good at that. I close pretty good, and I make the company plenty of money by doing that. And I'm happy with my effort. And that's all they're getting from me. They don't like it, they can come get their sheds. I don't want to do all this tech stuff.
Well, my experience with the shed sales arena is they probably would not have said sheds.
Yeah, true story.
That's funny. So I am all about reciprocation. If I am pouring into something, I don't always need it's not tit for tat. I don't need like the exact amount in return. I just need to see some sort of reciprocation. So if I have a dealer that is, hey, they're selling and that's all they want to focus on, and they don't want to answer questions, they don't want to train anybody else, they don't want to focus on anything. We actually had an employee with our company that was very similar to that, where she was very, very, very good at her job, but didn't want to answer a lot of questions. And that's okay. Where it becomes less okay is where they're a good salesperson and they need favors and they need things, and it's just need. And the reason they're selling so much is because you just keep giving them favors and you get nothing back except for a bunch of sales, but at a much lower rate because you gave a bunch of discounts. Like that's not quite the same thing. But again, from before, the expectation. What is your expectation? As long as that expectation is being reciprocated, then no harm, no foul. Now, me personally, I have a tendency to go, and this by no means is tooting my horn, but I try to go above and beyond no matter what I'm doing. And I'll dig deep. And if I have a coworker that's new, or we have somebody that's training and they have questions, then I'm going to give them as thorough as an answer as I can, because I want them to succeed.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. Number 8, I've got this one before. It may be surprising to almost even kind of hear it. But I didn't give anything with it. I just straight comment that I've heard. I don't need a website, ads, or any of that stuff. We do just fine without it.
I mean, are they using carrier pigeons? How are customers getting a hold of them?
Carrier pigeons. That would be a new one.
I mean, come on, man. It doesn't surprise me that there are still people out there that just are sticks in the mud. But I mean, my exact comment was, it's not 1996 anymore. Like, get that website. You can build a website for less than $100, and just so customers can go somewhere other than your Facebook page that you have one picture of because you forgot to update everything. It's just, you have to do it, and it is super inexpensive to get started. It's relatively inexpensive to pay someone to do it for you. I mean, you can get one built, like a basic one, for under $1,000 if you know what you're doing. But this is a new era. It's a new economy. There's a lot of aggressive online marketing companies and marketing teams, and getting. I've seen upwards of 40 and 50% discounts on stuff like this week. And so it's getting super, super aggressive. So you're eliminating your chances of getting someone from a completely different market if you are not investing in something like that. If you're solely relying on your drive-by traffic, you are missing the boat.
Yeah, I like it. Number 9, I'm a manufacturer. I've got a responsibility to my dealer network. We try to be fair, but if they're not willing to work with us as we grow and new ways of selling become available, I kind of feel stuck. I don't want to lose sales to other companies who are making these changes, but I also don't want to upset my dealer network either.
So I think this is where I introduced the 80-20 rule. 80% of your business is going to come from 20% of your customers, and vice versa. Or dealers. I mentioned in there that I actually ran numbers one time. It's not for the company I'm with. It was a different company. And 90% of their business was coming from 10% of their dealers.
That's still very accurate for most places.
and for this particular company, you're talking about, you would lose $3 million if you cut 90% of their dealers, and they would have well over $20 million to play with, which, by the way, you're also cutting probably 90% of your headaches, because frequently those little guys are the ones that are trying to get you to attach stuff to houses and trying to get you to, build this weird thing that, that costs you $2,000. I mean, just this little tiny little piddly stuff. And whereas these prominent dealers that know what they're doing and that are educated and that care about the industry and whatnot, they're not asking any questions, need very little in return, and they're selling you, $2 million in a year, by themselves. And that facts over feelings, honest. And it again, I can be a little bit on the abrasive side, but if at the end of the day, if the fact is they're not selling, you got people that are, and it's time to move. It's time to move on.
Isn't that a Ben Shapiro line? Facts don't care about your feelings.
That is correct.
I'm a big Shapiro guy, and
he's great. But yeah, facts are unwavering, and facts are immovable. And no matter how you feel about these things, it's not going to change anything. And so if you factually are not doing your job, then I will factually find someone that will. And it's at the end of the day, it's that simple. Now, that doesn't mean, and I also clarified this, don't be compassionate, because people are people and people make mistakes. Yeah. People have rough years. They have back in 2020, I got divorced. Well, of course, like, I'm going to be, it's a tough moment, but if there is a pattern of no reciprocation, bad temper, no sales, just why are we latching to these people? It's not necessary. And honestly, it's a biblical principle to let these people go. We're pruning the tree here so that the rest of the tree can grow. And it's
a great statement. What a great just PowerPoint. Like, that's a nice little presentation there. It's biblical. You have to prune sometimes, and we're so stuck on wanting to be agreeable and kind and nice that we're unwilling to prune, right?
Yep. Yeah, there people I might get so boxy here for a second, but Christians in particular sometimes focus so much on the compassion side that they forget that there is a job to be done, and we get caught in the weeds with all their feelings, and we want to make sure. And it's just, and yes, people have feelings, yes, it needs to be acknowledged, yes, but at the end of the day, there's a job to be done. And it's the same thing in the business side. Like, we have to make money. We're not going to make money if we're sitting here trying to scratch everybody's back all the time. Like, it's not a reasonable expectation to set.
Yeah.
And so when you come to terms with that, and you embrace that, then making these hard decisions becomes a little bit easier, because at the end of the day, you're ultimately bettering. Like, a lot of times these people that are unwilling to move on things are abusing, and I mean that in a literal sense, the girls in your office. And that is one of my cardinal rules. You do not abuse the girls in the office. Like, you take care of those girls, and they're the ones that are chewing them out all the time, over and over, about something. And it's like, it's not acceptable. Like, it never is acceptable. And so, you getting rid of this person is good for a couple of things, because it makes your work life better, but they're probably going to stay in the industry. So now you're just giving that bad employee to your competitor.
Yeah.
So,
no, I like
it.
I love your well thought out answers that you even included on there. Matter of fact, I'm an hour 8 minutes in, and I'm like, hey, we're going to make this 2 40-minute segments instead of 1 hour and 10-minute segment. I was going to save number 10 and say, if you want to know, go to the page or ask to be on it. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and give you this one, and then we'll wrap up before too long, because I think we could still get an easy 2-part conversation out of this, and I don't want to bore people. And I don't want to. And I don't want to. When I say bore people,
are going to say par for the course. I just want you to know
between me and you, brother, there's no escape. Like, we just. I think we enjoy the conversation, funny. And that's okay.
Are you a dealer who sells multiple products at your shed lot? Are you tired of sifting through clunky or overcomplicated softwares to simply sell a product? If so, it's time to call Cal. Consumer Aligned Logistics is the affordable, simplified, and scalable solution for your shed, carport, or even RTO company. We are partnered with Idea Room and Shed Pro for configurators, and have multiple RTO partners to choose from JMag to Heartland to Shed Geek Rentals and Scott's RTO. And if your partner isn't listed here, just ask. We are happy to add more. Give us a call at 425-359-3279 or visit calcanhelp.com. That's CALCANHELP.com.
So I'm going to go ahead and do number 10.
Yeah.
Because I hear this a lot. I'm a 1099 independent contractor. I sell sheds, but I started my own LLC. I got my little business going, all that good stuff. I'm trying to grow my brand right here in town, in my little neck of the woods. I'm spending money on marketing and other things, lot rent, but I'm being told I can't sell other products on my lot if I want to receive buildings on consignment from my supplier. But it's getting tough to make a living just selling one product for one company. And if I shut down, they'll just move on without me. So I kind of feel stuck. What do I do?
Again, layered answer. If the expectation is set from before, and that manufacturer is reciprocating, but they're just picky, then you knew what you were expecting. And if you need something different, then move on. Now, there's always the opportunity, because at the end of the day, it just comes down to money. Like, am I going to make money or am I not? From both sides, manufacturer and retailer. But if you can guarantee, hey, I can get you, $1.5 million this year, pick a number, and sales, if I can hit this mark, is it okay if I bring in this other line of product or whatever? Then you're back to business. it kind of also circles back to the first or second point we were talking about from before, where if you just can't bring in another shed industry, another shed market, for example, then introduce other products. Like they don't own you. They just own that part of that segment of the industry. So sell literally anything else, and just kind of bring that in there. On the other side, if they're just so inflexible and you're just trying to make a living and they're not helping you, then fine, they are just as replaceable as a manufacturer as you are as a dealer. And if they are so big to where they don't need your business, then you don't need theirs either. And you can, find a good local company or find another manufacturer. It took us 12, 13 years to get to where we had a comfortable nest of suppliers on the steel side, suppliers on the shed sides, and suppliers on all the other stuff that we have to offer. And it took a lot of cutting bait. Took a whole lot of cutting bait. Again, facts over feelings. Like the fact that is, I need to make money, and if I can't make money, then I will find a way to make that happen. And no harm, no foul. It's just I don't I appreciate what you have done for me so far, but it's time for you to come get your stuff. I have found a replacement. Again, there are scenarios in between, but at the end of the day, you are here to make money, and you are here to make a living, and you have to put food on the table for your family. You have to put a roof over your head. I mean, and you need to go on vacation, and you need to have fun. You need to see the world. I mean, it's not just the essentials. And if someone is keeping you, or manufacturers keeping you from that, then work around it. Now that also doesn't mean cut bait every 15 seconds, and there are those that will do that. That I am not talking about that. Usually when we cut bait with a manufacturer, you're talking about years of just, with a few exceptions, a year, 2 years of showing up late, canceling orders, lying to customers, rescheduling, more rescheduling, not fixing a building with repairs, and it's not worth it, And so,
especially if you are local and you've got a brand that you're building there.
Absolutely.
The local community takes it out on you. They don't typically take it out on the manufacturer. And that's very hard for people, to live in a community and deal with that sort of negative press, cleaning up anything that's on their website, or trying to clean up any flaws. That does make it tough. You have to live in that community.
Yes, you do. And we've had gold mines that the wrong person was working there, and it put a bad taste in customers' mouths, and we had to rebuild the reputation. It's just, and that's for manufacturers, that's for the retailers. I mean, that's anything. So the people talk, and one bad, don't shop there at one party, that's, if there's 10 people at that party, that's 10 people that know not to shop there. It's just, you can't, it's almost insurmountable at that point. Not quite, but it feels like it. So building a nest of manufacturers and a sales team that, again, reciprocates your efforts and honors your customer and honors you. It is worth cutting bait when you can, to grow to where now you can go to sleep at night. Now you don't have to worry about, is this manufacturer going to show up after, it rained all this time? I know without a shadow of a doubt that when I sell a building, that building's going to be there. When, I don't have to think about it. And it used to be not the case. And so having a relationship with a company that understands that it's not just about themselves, and that understands that I'm a piece of this equation for them to be sustainable, goes a very, very long way.
I love it. I love it, man. We gotta get you back on here.
Oh,
Yeah, I love your thoughts. I love that you took the time to answer, some of the questions or commented on some of the thoughts that were out there. Because I think that communication keeps us grounded. It keeps us connected, and it's very important. Sometimes you feel like you're on an island by yourself. Maybe you're selling today, and you don't have anybody to bounce these ideas and thoughts off of. And these social media outlets become an option. The
yeah,
podcast, I always encourage people to listen, not for my sake, but because you might learn something. Obviously we sell advertising on there to people, and we hope that listeners will go and purchase a
yep,
product or purchase a service that is on there. That's why those people commit money to be on here and allow us to do these things. But can't say enough about just the short time I've known you, and like your thoughts on different things. I really value your opinion, and I look forward now to seeing your comments and even responses and things on the Shed Sales Professionals
yeah,
page and other. And
absolutely.
I really love that you think things through and give a nice comprehensive answer to everything.
Hello, shed sellers. Let's take a moment to discuss the shed customer and meeting their expectations. I remember growing up in the neighborhood where a certain percentage of the houses had well-manicured lawns and well-manicured homes. These were the type of individuals who felt it was important to purchase a well-constructed home or vehicle, or maybe equipment to help maintain the quality of the item. As shed manufacturers, we seek to provide a well-built quality shed. We want the customer to feel satisfied that their hard-earned money has been well spent on a product that will last. At LuxGuard, we believe adding high-quality rubber flooring to your line of sheds makes sense to the customer and adds value the customer can appreciate. With each year, sheds are becoming more complex. The customizations we are seeing are virtually endless. LuxGuard not only gives a complementary aesthetic appearance for their shed, but also protects the floor from spills and keeps cleanup simple. Offer your customer the customer service they seek with LuxGuard. At LuxGuard, we are committed to delivering exceptional customer service and innovative products to help our customers achieve their goals. We strive to meet the evolving needs of the customers. To speak with one of our ready-to-serve customer product specialists, simply call 336-468-4311. To see our product and view an installation video, just visit our website at luxguard.com. LuxGuard, the floor that lasts a lifetime.
Before
Yeah.
we go, anything that you have, any questions that you have, podcasting, shed related, just anything that I might be able to answer in full transparency, I always give everybody the option to do that. And if there's just a question you have, I'm happy to answer it if I can. If not, yeah, I'll do my best.
So a hurdle for me in all of my years is the marketing piece. I am not a marketer, so I really have to rely on a very rugged concept of what marketing looks like for my store. What has worked for you as far as marketing goes, and what is your expectation for a successful marketing campaign?
Yeah, well, I tell people there's a lot of reasons that I go into or have done certain things in the industry is because I really just try to be a good listener, and then I learn, I learn from the mistakes of others. I don't just learn from the mistakes of myself. I learn from the mistakes of others, and then I try to listen. When you teach your children something, you usually don't do this, and trust me, don't do it because I've been down that road. Right?
Yeah,
That's why you
yeah,
tell them. But some are stubborn, like I was, and I had to figure it out myself the hard way. Right?
yep,
I had to go and learn the hard way that, like, even though they were trying to help me, I thought I knew better. So what I've learned is, we have an agency that serves the industry. We serve, approximately 50 clients in the industry. And what I've learned is to get myself, I've literally done what other people tell me is a key to success, which is to put yourself in a room full of smart people.
yeah,
It's really not that complicated if we can take our ego out of it.
yeah,
Right. Like, I just put myself in a room full of people a lot smarter than me, and voila, next thing you know, they make me look better than what I am because I'm the fifth wheel of 5 people, and all of a sudden I become, build a massive amount of knowledge in this thing myself by just surrounding myself with these people. So I give a lot of credit to my team, for sure. But what's been really unique, and I'm sharing this with this on this sales journey tomorrow that we're talking with this company in Indiana, um, is the retail market's changed. It's certainly changed from whenever we were growing up. And it doesn't matter how you feel about that market changing. What matters is how you respond to it. And people are going to be okay with your response. If your response is like, no, not doing it, not going to get into it, I do just fine without it. I can promise you people who are finding success in it are not going to argue with you because they don't really want you competing with them in it anyway. So they're okay with your position on that, right? I just think that the industry is definitely getting big enough. I don't know if it's saturated by any means. I believe there's a long way to go, but I just believe that the retail market's changing, and so much of that is a technological change. And I've never been, surprisingly, like a big tech guru. A lot of people are, oh, you got a podcast, you're doing marketing, you're doing all this. Of course you're a tech person. And I'm like, well, I can talk the talk pretty good, but there's people around me who help walk the walk better than I do. And I give them a lot of praise and a lot of credit for their efforts and their expertise and years of service and knowledge that they've been grinding and figuring these things out. But the agency model I feel like has been really good for us. What we've been pushing is our agency model. You can hire a person, you can bring them in, you can pay 80 grand a year. And guess what? You're probably going to find someone who's very talented. If you hire a marketing personality. So I'm not trying to take any marketing jobs away. Sometimes you need a liaison, just to be clear, between the two. I'm just saying, an agency brings a different perspective to it. Like we can simultaneously work on building your digital assets out, your website, and while simultaneously talking to you about, an ad budget and what kind of ad copy you want out there. And that's hard for one person to do, right? When we have 10 people working towards your product and your company, it's just a lot different. So I have found that to be the most successful. The thing that I found challenging has been your average, and I hope I don't sound like I'm insulting when I say this, but like your average dealer who is trying to grow their own brand, and then they sell the brand of another manufacturer. That's very difficult, again, based on even $1 million in sales, because to operate a really good marketing program, there's a cost to it, but the cost is an investment. And the one thing we tell people is, like, if you invest in marketing, it should be making you money, not costing you money. It's not a line item budget, right? If you were going to go into shed hauling, what's the first thing you need to buy? Probably a trailer, maybe a truck. If you're going to sell sheds, you probably need to buy some 2x4s.
Yep.
So you're doing that. Why? Because it costs you money and it's always going to cost you money? No, you're doing it because it makes you money.
Yep.
And that's the way marketing should be thought of. And if you're not being serviced in a way that marketing is making you money, then I think you and your marketing company need to have a conversation. I know that if we're not making people money, we will probably be quicker to pull away than they will, because we'll realize, hey, we can't help you. There's just nothing we can do. And why can't we help you? It might be because we're limited by your budget. It might be that we are limited by your vision. It might be that, we just can't serve you as well as others can based off your unique business perspective. But that's where customer acquisition comes in, right? You talked about the difference in a shed company and a metal company. The customer acquisition time is longer for a metal customer than it is a shed customer. Well, we've approached that in marketing. We have become almost consultants, if you will. We actually sit down with people and say, in your broken language, tell me what marketing is to you, and then we'll have some thoughts on that where we can, converse back and forth to say, well, in this situation, and so we're educators.
Yep.
We spend the time to educate so that you feel comfortable knowing what you're buying. And I think that's super important, because as you said, not everybody's a marketer. I would imagine
I am definitely not.
I tell shed builders all the time, if you want to see me fail, let's get out there and compare your skills as a manufacturer versus mine. I can probably build you a shed or something that looks similar.
Yep.
Because I can probably see 90% of it looking the same or similar to a shed that you have built. But you're going to come in and pick it completely apart.
Yep.
Say, oh my goodness, this is a terrible build. This guy obviously doesn't know what he's doing. And that's what, an agency will find. They will say, hey, you're doing a good job. It's not that you're doing terrible, but there's some obvious things here. Like, right, you forgot this, and it's like, oh, I didn't even know that. And it's like, well, how could you know that?
Right.
So that's really what you're attempting to do. You're attempting to come alongside and help people. But I don't know if I answered your question or not, but me and you are both long-winded. So
hey, we're talking about reciprocation. It's only fair. I was a little long-winded myself.
Well, you did great. You did great. Anything else that you want to share with the industry? Any shout outs or just anything in general for those who are listening today? Any final thoughts?
Well, I'll say hello to all the hometown shed peeps who will be listening to this. And then obviously my wife is going to listen to it as well. So hello, Denise. And then, the only thing I was thinking about that I meant to mention from before, and we can piece that how we need to, but you were asking earlier about advice for the new guys. And I've been circling this in my head as you were kind of explaining some of that. Always take a step back and take a step back and look at the whole thing, at the whole picture. I have found that my price sheets every couple months will be just a little bit different from a time before. Because I took a step back. It's like, oh, I could have done this just a little bit differently. But yeah, that would be just that, just taking a step back and just reassessing my situation and looking at it, making sure I'm looking at it from a customer's perspective, making sure I'm looking at it from a honestly, from a customer's perspective instead of a retailer perspective, or even worse, from a manufacturer's perspective. And where I really kind of it was a dawning moment for me, is we had a brochure that a manufacturer made, and it was just a bunch of pictures in their brochure of their plant. Well, no one cares about that. They want to know what their shed's going to look like. And so that was kind of the journey for me, kind of getting to this point. But really, most recently, in the last I would say in the last 2 years, really taking a step back, and it's like, how am I presenting my information to these guys, to these customers, in such a way that they are captivated by what I have to say? And I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference. So anyways, I know that I was kind of out of order there, but I just
you're fine.
I have been meaning to interject that somewhere. So
it's absolutely great advice, and I mean it whenever I say we should have you back on. I certainly appreciate you, being willing to come on and share some thoughts. I encourage everybody to go on and if you're involved in the shed industry, go check out the Shed Sales Professionals page. It's a private page. Hey, while you're at it, go over, check out Shed Geek, give us a like, a comment. Don't be afraid. We're invested in the industry. So again, if you're a professional, I believe that you should search down every magazine, publication, podcast, book, post-it note, whatever you want to look for to learn more about your industry and to be better and to learn how to serve customers better, be better at what you do. Hey, I know every podcast isn't for everybody. I acknowledge that. Even my favorite podcasters, I don't listen to every episode. But if you get some worth and some value, give us a shout, give us a holler, be willing to sit down with us Go check out our newsletter. If you're not signed up for the newsletter, just go to info@shedgeek.com. Tell me who you are, give me your name, give me your company, give me your email, and we will be sure to add you to it. We have an email newsletter that goes out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that discusses who's going to be on the show. It's full of advertisers and links that you can click on to go type in, search out their stuff, even fill out a lead form if you want to know more about their products or service. Give them a shout, because we appreciate those who are supporters of the podcast over here. We want to support them. That's just the way we operate. I guess we're true capitalists, maybe, Rami, in that mindset. We help those who help us. We even help those who don't help us sometimes.
Exactly.
Rami, I certainly appreciate it. It's been a blast, and we'll have to get you back on. I think that'll be great.
Yeah, please do. Happy to help. Happy to just spend some time with you guys and kind of get to know you just like the other way around. So I appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Mo Lunsford in sunny Union Grove, North Carolina, and we want to say thank you to all the guests and listeners.